Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're going to focus in on an interesting topic, and that is how the narcissist or the psychopath alters your sense of reality. The narcissist and also the psychopath, I'm putting these two in the same category for sake of this video. For those who have experienced a sense of damage and emotional manipulation from an individual who has a heightened sense of superiority or self-importance coupled with a lack of empathy. And in the psychopath, this also includes a lack of conscience. So their high-risk behaviors and the way that they really manipulate and control others to the point of you feeling like you have to succumb to them, like you have to fall into their seduction, like you have to, you become zombie-like and you feel like you're just, thrown over to this individual, like you're just completely aghast at them, like they're just so fascinating. You become enamored and you become infatuated with them. This turns into obsession, which then turns to addiction. And likewise, this also occurs with the narcissist, someone who really tries to control your life and makes you feel like you have to live for them or live in reaction to them according to what they think is important and not what you think is important. So you, in essence, kind of like hollow out yourself to just live in reaction to them. That's not the proper way to go about life. To be educated is from the root word of educare, Latin, to bring out. So education and also self-education is to bring out the real you. It's to bring out your true skills. It's to bring out your true passions. It's to bring out your true focus and your life purpose. And we are individuals with free self-will. And it is this free will, kind of this open and free perspective, which is the natural state and natural homeostasis and really state of content and happiness, which the narcissist and psychopath wants to fog and wants you to basically corrupt and wants you to conceal, your needs for theirs, so that they can have this, because they have this pathological sense of self-importance. I mean, they need to be the center of attention. And most people, they don't really need all that. In fact, a lot of people don't really even like to be the center of attention. They just want to go about their life and just, if they have a message to share, that's one thing. If they have, something to educate people on, that is one thing, something that they feel strongly about. But yet these people kind of crave attention for attention's sake. They have sex for sex sake, not for a relational. They do it more as just to get up control. It's just like they're the people who just want to put their foot in your face. It's like, talk to the foot, talk to the hand. I mean, they literally want to cut you out, and it's all about them. That is how they get through life, and that is really how the root of why they exploit and take advantage of others. So now we're looking at what becomes known as codependency, or really what fuels the addiction to a narcissist or a psychopath. And addiction really is anything that distorts your sense of reality, causes you to lose control, and puts you in a different emotional state. So people can be addicted to rage. People can be addicted to disappointment. People can be addicted to depression. People can be addicted to, overspending, gambling. People can be addicted to sex. They can be addicted to a individual. And this is very different from being like infatuated or like having your heart set on somebody or something like that. We are talking about addiction, which becomes a distortion of reality. And oftentimes this addiction is fueled chemically through the love bombing of the narcissist and psychopath, where by virtue of their gaze, their rapt attention on you, because especially within the psychopath, they have no conscience. So they really have no fear of doing anything wrong, because they really feel like they're above the law. So they just kind of feel like they can get whatever they want, get at whatever they want, do whatever they want, treat people however they want. Basically, they kind of maneuver through their life, through their relationships in this manner. And really, they don't have a sense of connection. because of this lack of conscience, they don't feel connected to people. They just don't have a bond. So even though they look like people on the outside, they really have a very, very dark, deep kind of emptiness, which we're going to call pathological boredom. So they have a propensity to be very on the go, constantly needing to do a lot of different things to keep this boredom at bay. So, and likewise, and we're not talking about the narcissist here, and I realize we're kind of looking at both, but I think it's very important to have an education on both. But we see the psychopath individually, particularly, keeping up a lot of, double life behaviors. In other words, where they'll be there for you, but then they'll be somewhere, just totally act like a different person within another set of people, and likewise with another set of people, they're totally different. So there's not a lot of continuity within that person. There's not a lot of stability, and you can really start to feel a lack of presence. This person oftentimes doesn't look people in the eye, yet they're very charming. They tend to act very sexual, even though they might not be, engaged in a sexual relationship with you. Just the way that they move their body, it's very kind of disrespectful to people who they are around. So they might you're talking to them and they just bend over a lot. So you're basically talking to their butt. They will never look at you. They'll be constantly, multitasking. And so that you have, by virtue of default, you're not getting attention, yet you have to pay attention to them, because if you were to equal their behavior, basically, if you were to do exactly what they're doing, there would be no conversation. You'd both be talking on the phone and doing this, and it would just be total chaos. So that's why the psychopath, when they do attend to you, it's almost as if the whole world and all the cares fall away. You feel like here's this individual who has your back, who desires you, who's attending to you. And yet what they're really doing is they're sizing you up and they're manipulating you. They're looking for your hot buttons. They're looking for things that you say or do, or your weaknesses or your vulnerabilities. And especially those people who are used to caregiver behaviors, meaning they have a good heart, they are empathetic, they want to be there to help people, they are sensitive to others, and they don't like to see other people hurt. They don't like to see other people taken advantage of. It's those very people who don't like to see people taken advantage of that they take advantage of. Because, then they give them this sob story, about their breakup or their health or their finances, and then you feel sorry for them and then you want to help them. So usually if you look back at the pattern of the relationship, there's this, I feel sorry for you, and so I'm going to help you. And this is the setting up of the trauma bond, the addiction, and really, that what we call the traumatic bond, the psychopathic bond, which is something you have to break free of. Even though if it's become a huge part of your life, if it's taken a lot of your energy, it's taken a lot of your focus, and now you're kind of trying to, get away from it because you're realizing that this person is not right to you, and not right really in a lot of ways, and they're not going to be right to a lot of people. You have to let them go and then cut out that attachment bond. All the feelings, behaviors, the things that they made you adopt while you were in the relationship in order to quote unquote be bonded with them. You were thinking, that this was going to be, lead somewhere. And oftentimes, one of the main things you have to do to disengage is to not only go no contact, which means not have, them around at all. Even though this is difficult, sometimes people live with these people, sometimes people work with these people, sometimes these are their neighbors or their exes, and they're, in the area. You really have to let them go. And disengage. You really have to annihilate that trauma bond. And whether it's just moving, getting them out of your computer, out of your phone, making sure that they don't have access to you, because each time they will continue to trigger you and continue to try to re-solidify that trauma bond. But, it's when you realize that they are having a bond, not a relationship. And when you look back, I think you'll really understand that they were creating a sort of attachment versus a relationship. that by virtue of their being there for you and then the drawing away, the love bombing you, yet the insulting, humiliating behavior, that this really becomes worse and worse before the discard comes. The humiliation can oftentimes be hideous and can be the form of smear campaigns, ruining your reputation, talking about you behind your back, all those insulting, derogatory behaviors, which you really need to let go and not let that be part of your inner life. Not let those reactions and those kind of dancing around to people please them. You need to disband and let go of all of those. Yes, it can be hard because it's been so repeated, it's been so habituated within you, and it's, you've reinforced that through, or had that reinforced, that addiction, which has distorted your reality, oftentimes through the brainwashing and gaslighting. It's kept you addicted. It's kept you kind of away from your life. So it's time to realize the seriousness and realize that reality and peace and contentment and coming back into your own body and being at peace and content and learning just to enjoy the finer emotions of not being traumatized, not being scorched by their insidious, humiliating behaviors, through their narc and word salad, through their strange gazes, through the strange things that they say, and being kind of caught up in that mess. Once you realize that it's nothing but a large chaos that you have become entangled to, just let go. Let go. Let go emotionally, let go physically, and realize, come back to the I am. If you've been addicted to this person and you've abandoned yourself, you've abandoned your values, you thought this, you thought you had to do that, you thought you had to be this way, you thought this individual was for real, you've realized that they are a predator, you've realized that they are a fraud, you've realized that they're an imposter, come back into your own body and just go, oh my God, thank God, I have so much gratitude now that I have come away from that individual. And I have so much gratitude now that I'm letting this individual go, and I'm letting all that trauma go with them. And I'm now delighting in just the very fact of being and being myself, and rehumanizing my senses once again, and reaffirming how I feel, even the very smallest things I can have gratitude for. The silence, a beautiful sunset, a beautiful sunrise, just some fresh air, knowing that I can eat healthy, knowing that I can exercise, knowing that I don't have to get in the reactive sludge of their toxicity. Realizing now that I'm no longer being abused, the whole world is open to me, and I can now fulfill my destiny and fulfill my desires and work more in a law of abundance versus a law of scarcity that they had made me feel or trap me into the illusion of, because the illusion is going to keep you stuck in scarcity, and it's going to keep you stuck in fear, and it's going to take you no place but down, because the narcissist or psychopath is there just to keep you as a supply until they're bored or until you figure them out. You're going to have zero with them. It's just, even though it seems like you should, it would make common sense. There is no bond there. They cannot connect to people. They don't have an ability. They don't have the heart. They don't have the conscience. They don't have the neural wiring. They don't have the humanity. Even though they're busy, they don't have the ability to relate to you. And I think you'll feel that. And when you realize that, you can have that aha moment and go, that explains a lot now. I'm now returning to my life. I'm now returning to my body, thank God. And I'm now learning to open my eyes and be stimulated in more creative ways, and open up that freedom and that life, and really start engaging with other people who aren't manipulative, but who can have a relationship with you. And it's a two-way, balanced relationship where one doesn't have to be insulted to be next to another, where there can be a give and take. And you can be yourself and not feel threatened or feel like fearful, or that you can't exist when this person is not around. You can simultaneously coexist without threatening your or the other's existence. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.